What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my first ever Blue Eyes deck video for Link Evolution. Back before the update, I had only done a Chaos Max video, but I felt like doing a semi-pure Blue Eyes list as we got some decent changes now with the update. To get the disappointment out of the way, this isn't the type of build where we are going to summon Blue Eyes alternative Ultimate Dragon, even though we just got him in the update. Truthfully, as cool as he is, I don't think he is the most appropriate route to take with the deck. Thanks to the Master Rule revision, we can now use a dedicated XC lineup with Jaglubion and other rank 8s without needing to rely on link monsters. We do run the staple copies of Spirit Dragon, Azure Eyes, and Moonlight for the synchro side of things, the one Twin Burst which will be rare to go into but still good to have. A big mistake I see on the ladder are opponents going into Twin Burst as soon as possible, but honestly I think he is better saved with problematic monsters that your XC monsters cannot get rid of. Union Carrier is back, this time without any lock monsters. The idea this time is to equip Photon Orbital to any light monsters which can then search Galaxy Soldier, who can discard any unwanted stones or blue eyes to set up for revival. As expected, we also get access to Cyber Dragon Infinity this way. This deck can really get going between the search and draw cards, especially if you are discarding White Stones of the Ancients at the same time. Summoning Alternative will most likely be your initial summon most duels, as you can use this effect to pave the way for the rest of your turn, such as using Trade-In to discard the now useless blue eyes in the hand. Between discarding stones and filling the graveyard, you should be able to either utilize your revival spells for rank 8 plays, or summoning Chaos Dragon Levianeer to revive a blue eyes monster for a similar result. Sage is still an amazing card as you can either get rid of a brick stone on the field to get some offense going from the deck, or you can go into your synchro plays while searching an effect veiler for some extra negation for your opponent's turn. Dragon Shrine was a pretty sick starter for me, as I would usually dump a blue eyes followed by a stone. In the event my opponent had back row, I could dump Dragon Spirit of Light instead since it still counts as a normal monster. From there I can revive it later with Chaos Dragon or Revival spells. The last card in the deck I wanted to test out was the trap card Ultimate Creature of Destruction. Unfortunately, I didn't see it at all, but it seemed okay. This is of course replaceable with something like Skill Drain or Personal Text of your choice. For the duel, I wanted to showcase as much of the deck's potential plays as possible. We have a less than ideal hand since we don't have any of our starter spells, we have no blue eyes for alternative to summon, and we have a dead dragon spirit as well. The only play we have here is to set and pass, hoping our opponent isn't a crazy OTK deck that can play through effect veiler. A better turn 1 opening for this deck will come up later in the video, but for now this is all we have. Seeing Shiranui Solitaire, we have the unfortunate luck of running into a zombie deck which usually poses quite a threat sometimes on the ladder. At the same time though, this does guarantee that we are safe from an OTK. Normally I would expect to see Unizombie going for the Zombie World setup to get Doom King on the field, but seeing as how he goes into Psy-Frame Lord Omega, this isn't a typical deck focused on Doom King it seems. Interesting enough, my opponent avoids attacking, which turns out to be even better for his next turn. I do have some bad luck in always opening my Union Carrier equip in my decks, but here we can use the Dead Photon Orbital as a link material luckily. In a different scenario, you could go into your Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord or full armor at some point and equip him then to bypass the Union Carrier summon if you open them like I do. We could have went for Link Karibo here, but getting the additional summon from Halka Fibrax is a welcome bonus. Getting the stone in the graveyard to search Blue Eyes was the most important part, as we now have some plays along with the return of the Dragon Runes. My priority here was to use alternative to force the effect of Omega and get rid of him quickly, although this was risky as losing Chaos Dragon could ruin our plans for lethal. Synchroing into Spirit Dragon here helps fill our graveyard some more for Chaos Dragon finally, giving us that rank 8 play we need for lethal. I always try to prioritize banishing the stones as we need our dragons for revival most of the time. On an open board, going into Jaglubion here is a quick and easy lethal play. Using his effect, he can summon Numeron Dragon from your extra deck, attaching Hope Harbinger as a material. Numeron Dragon can detach and gain attack points depending on the number of ranks on the field, which is always going to be 9,000 when summoned from Jaglubion. If you have other XC monsters on the field, obviously this goes up. Following this route, keep in mind that only Numeron Dragon can attack when you use Jaglubion's effect. If it didn't have this restriction, it would be a little busted, but this is why it's important to make this play when we have a clear shot at lethal. Going in for the attack, I do feel the delay that his back row is coming into play, but unfortunately it is Call It a Haunted. This lets my opponent barely survive by a thread, and now we are in a tough spot as our disruption is limited for his next turn. Numeron Dragon's attack will also return to 0 at the end of our opponent's turn, making him effectively useless when it's our turn again. We do have Return of the Dragon Lord still available next turn, so all is not lost yet. Our opponent is going to get back Psyframe Board Omega and activate Foolish Burial. Things change now as we finally discover that we are up against Mayakashis. This does go into our favor slightly as Mayakashis do utilize the graveyard quite a bit, making Spirit Dragon useful to slow them down. The main tuner Daki has an effect that allows itself to revive each time a Mayakashi extra deck monster is summoned. This is pretty much the negate goal for Spirit, but unfortunately my opponent did get Mizuki back into the grave, so he will be able to play through this. Reviving Unizombie, my opponent can now start his long chain of synchro summons now that Spirit Dragon's negate is up. We do however have one more piece of disruption through Spirit's float effect, and that is to go into Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, who can bounce a card back to the extra deck. There isn't much to do except wait to bounce his synchro monster back into the extra deck. All of the Mayakashi synchro monsters have an effect that triggers when they are special summoned from the grave, so if we can hold his climb and prevent them from hitting the grave, we have a chance. Yoko in particular can pop monsters when it is special summoned, so I definitely want to bounce that. By tributing Spirit Dragon, I can go into Moonlight Dragon and bounce his monster back to the extra deck. The downside is that Moonlight Dragon will be destroyed in the end phase since it was summoned through Spirit's effect. Our opponent does get saved though because he has Monster Reborn. He can bring back a Synchro monster and then Synchro with Daki, and then he'll resume his climb just as he was doing before. The only difference is he has to go into Tengu to climb back into Yoko the right way. There's nothing else we can do at this point. He's allowed to finish his Synchro summons and go straight to the level 11 Gasha Dokuro. His monsters aren't too much of a threat by themselves. The only worry is the effects that start triggering when they leave the field. So if you destroy the level 11 Gasha Dokuro, it'll bring back Yoko, who can pop a monster on the field. And when Yoko's destroyed, it'll bring back Tengu, who can pop a spell or trap. And then it'll just keep cycling down until it goes through all the Synchro monsters in the graveyard. My opponent does make a curious decision here and attacks Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, probably because he wasn't aware that it was going to get destroyed anyway during the end phase, but it does leave us some monsters on the field this way. At the start of our turn, we top deck the card that is going to win the duel for us, and that is Called by the Grave. As I said before, most of the Mayakashis rely on their graveyard effects and special summoning themselves back, so Called by the Grave can effectively kill this loop and win us the duel. That's it from me guys though. I hope you enjoyed the replays. Stay tuned for the next video and make sure to subscribe to me here and on Twitch.